Today I'm working in my traveler's notebook. This is a brand new traveler's notebook from Freckled Fawn, and I'm working on the very first page. I have a little photo here of my coffee, and I have a little story to go along with it. And then I am using mostly supplies from the March Citrus Twist Kits Pocket Life Kit, like these two papers are both from that kit. These alphas are from that kit. I have a few scraps from that kit. I also have the puffy stickers and a couple of the die cut ephemera and a stamp from Citrus Twist Kits as well. And then I also grabbed these puffy stickers from Freckled Fawn just from my stash. I thought I'd never use them. I've been hoarding them because I love them so much, and it's time to just get them onto a page. So that is what I have. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with it, but I'm just going to play around and see what happens.
So I know I want to use this beautiful pinky peachy mandala style paper for the background. So I'm going to start with it. I just trimmed off the strip at the top, and now I'm going to cut it not quite in half. I want it slightly to the left side of the page. And I do that so that the notebook will still open and it won't be so bulky at the fold. So before I glue everything down, I just want to get kind of a layout so I know what is going to go where before it's there permanently. So I'm thinking that I need some contrast behind my photo because my photo is very light and this paper is very light. So I grabbed this black pattern paper from the kit, and I'm just going to kind of matte my photo with that. And if the piece that I have left is not big enough to completely matte the photo, so I just cut it into two pieces, two squares, and I'm just going to put it behind the opposite corners of the photo like this. And then I'm using that journaling spot from the die cut ephemera to add more layers, to add a bit of a frame around the whole thing. So I also know that I want to include some of the blue in this paper. So I'm going to just trim down a few pieces to layer behind the background paper on the page. And I don't really want this teal color so much as the blue and pink strips that are, or stripes that are in this pattern. So I just cut off one of those, but then I really liked the bit that had the white. There's kind of a little scallop edge, and I really liked that. So I am going to trim out a different piece and replace the one on the left with one that matches the right side with the white scallop. So I think I want to layer up the background like this. And I know that I want to use the blue cup from this little sheet of puffy stickers from Freckled Fawn. I'm not sure where I want to put it yet, so I just cut out the sticker with the backing so that I can move it around the page before I decide to stick it down completely. And then I also know that I want to use a couple of the blue elements from these puffy stickers, but I'm pretty sure I know where I want them to go, so I'm just going to leave them on the sheet until I'm ready. So now I can start sticking things down, and I'm using a double-sided tape for this layout because it's in a traveler's notebook, because it's not in a pocket. I want to make sure that everything's fully stuck down and won't come loose and fall out of my notebook in the years to come. So I'm going to use some double-sided tape and make sure I put plenty down to keep everything fully adhered. The only bad thing about double-sided tape is that it does take a bit longer. It's not as quick as a tape runner. You have to pull off all of these little backing strips, which can be kind of a pain, but it's worth it to not have your page fall apart later on. So now I'm going to adhere the background paper down, and I'm just putting some double-sided tape around the edges. On the edge where I know I want to tuck in that little blue piece, I'm putting it just inside the edge of the page so that I'll have space to tuck that in. And now I'll do the same to the other side. So now I'm gonna tuck these little blue pieces of paper behind the pink paper, and I struggle a bit with this. If I had been thinking I should have really glued these down first, and then I wouldn't have the trouble of trying to get it stuck just right in the right place behind this paper. Finally I get it, but you'll see here in a second, this side does not go down so smoothly. It gets stuck right away in a place that I don't really want it to be, but it is fully stuck to the page and I won't be able to get it off, so I just go with it. You can see it's not coming off, so eventually I give up and I just adhere it down, and then I just trim off that top bit that's sticking out a little bit too far. So now I can add my photo cluster. And I'm leaving the two corners that don't have extra embellishment. I'm leaving the tape off of those in case I decide to tuck something else behind. I'm thinking that's where I would want to do it, so I don't add any tape there so that I can still be able to add things later. So now I'm thinking about my title. I know I want to use these black puffy alphas from the kit, and I thought my title would be just coffee, because that's what the picture is of and that's what the story is about. But as you can see, I don't have any E's left, and I have 3 F's, which if I'm trying to make E's out of F's, I'm still not going to have enough for the word coffee. So I'm trying to think of what else I can use as a title that will work with the letters that I have. And eventually I settle on latte, which technically the photo is of a latte that I made at home, which also has an E in it, but I'm thinking I can make an E out of an F just for that one E. So to do that, I'm going to stick down the F, and then I'm going to use the center of one of the D's, and I'm just going to cut one edge so it's straight, and then mark with my fingernail where I need to cut the other edge, and trim it down and put it on the page. And you can definitely tell that it's not one piece, but from a distance I think it looks fine and it doesn't bother me. So now I'm going to add this little blue puffy sticker that says "But first this," and this other one that says "Worth it." And I'm starting to create kind of a triangle around the page. So I decide to add this little coffee cup puffy sticker to the corner of my photo. And I'm thinking what else I might want to add. There are a couple stars that I think might work. Maybe some stamps. There's a stamp on this sheet that says "Loving You," and I decided to add it to the center of my coffee cup right onto the photo. So I'm going to use Stays On ink for that, just to make sure that it doesn't smudge. I'm just testing out this stamp to make sure I get a clean image. And now before I do any more embellishing, I want to make sure that I leave space for my journaling. So I'm just thinking about how I want to add that. I thought I might use that little tag, but I knew it wasn't big enough for everything I wanted to write down. So I'm just going to add some lines directly onto the background paper and do my journaling right on it. And I'm using a gel pen for this, which normally I don't have a problem with. It does actually smudge a bit. You'll see me realize that right here, that it's smudging just a tiny bit, but that's okay. It didn't make a huge mess, and I'm totally fine with leaving it the way it is. So I'm going to add the date, and I'm just going to add the month and year, and I'm using the dated stamp from Ellie Studio to do that. This traveler's notebook that this page is in is for this year. So my plan is to do one spread for each month, so it's just kind of an overview of the full year, and I'll probably just stick it into my Project Life album when I'm all done. And it's going to be more just about me than my Project Life album is about all of us. I think I'm planning to make this one just more about my memories and the things that stick out to me from each month. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how that goes. So it's almost done. I added a little puffy star next to the date, but it needs a little something else. So I'm just going to add some black splatters, and I'm using a Studio Calico ink to do that. I'm just going to cover up my photo so I make sure that I don't get any splatters on the photo itself. And that's pretty much going to do it. This is pretty much what the page looks like. I'm just going to clean up the mess I made with the splatters, and that'll be it. So there is a close-up shot coming up so you can see the spread in more detail. If you found some inspiration here, I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe if you want to be notified when I release new videos. Thank you so much for watching.